What is going on, fam? We got Starkiller's kit information in a dev interview coming at you guys right now, and I have had an absolute horror of an hour here trying to get things edited and exported, and my computer has just absolutely not cooperated with me. And so I'm very sorry. I only have audio to share with you today. I'm putting a picture of Starkiller up there that you guys can look at while we watch this and listen to it, so look at it more as a podcast. I do have animations to share. I'm going to try to get those uploaded if my computer cooperates with me in their own videos, and I'll post unlisted links down below in the description for all of those. So I apologize for the technical difficulties here. Hopefully I can even get the audio uploaded because Premiere Pro is literally making me ready to just take lightsabers to every porg I've ever seen. So anyway, love you, fam. Hope you guys enjoy the interview. Starkiller's kit is pretty sick. Here we go.
Okay, so before we get started, yeah, clearly the whole studio has been very excited about the characters we've been releasing lately. They're all part of that Galaxy Heroes celebrating the 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm, and we're able to bring some of the fan favorite legend characters to the holotables for that reason. And I mean, having them all culminate with Starkiller is just really the cherry on top, and we're definitely excited. So there you go.
Okay, got it. Are we good to go?
We're good. We're recording. Let's start.
Okay, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined today by the one and only CG Miller and Doja. We don't have a Crumb here this time, and I have to admit, your mustache game it's just not doing it, man. It's just not it next to Crumb. It just doesn't feel right. I
mean, I think if you put Miller and I together and combine our mustaches, then maybe we have a shot, you know.
Can you do like the Dragon Ball Z? Oh man, we're talking all things Starkiller today. We by now you guys have seen the kit, and today we're gonna do an interview and talk about all of the things that we want to ask you about. Now, please let us know what other questions you guys have down in the comments below. The devs will be here. I'm sure they'll address what they can. I would have loved to have pulled as many questions from you guys as I could, but I just couldn't tell you that this interview was coming yet. And so I'm going to do my very best to think about what I think you guys want me to ask and ask some of my own questions. So the first thing I want to do, I've got a few general questions, then I think we can go ability by ability, just because I think that there's something interesting in every ability in this kit. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sure. Right.
Okay. So my very first question is, this looks like a Galactic Legend kit to me. And there's a couple, I'm gonna justify this from a few angles. Number one, he basically has an ultimate ability, which is the granted ability that like looking at that ability, which let's see, it's called size means nothing. Like it feels more OP even than like say Luke's ultimate ability, and you've also limited him from being used with other Galactic Legends. Technically you can use him with other Galactic Legends, but you're going to nerf his ultimate ability, granted ability, by using him with other GLs. So I'm just curious to get your thoughts on that. Is that kind of what you guys are going for? This is like a secret GL?
So you'll notice that he has 3 Omicron abilities. And like Boba Fett, Sign of Django, he is not a marquee character. He is a difficult character to obtain. It's akin to a legendary event. It's a legacy event. It's a new type of event that's kind of just for him. And so that kind of like took the handcuffs off of what power levels we could put him at, right? And with the 3 Omicron abilities, we knew that he could, like Boba Fett, challenge Galactic Legends in that mode. Okay, so in, I believe it's Grand Arena.
Yes, thank you, by the way.
Yes.
I like the Grand Arena. Is it you? By the way, is it Omicron? Am I saying it wrong?
Omicron, yeah. Omicron. There's no
everybody leave me
hate
for not saying Omicron's right. Omicron. I will now repent and never go back. Okay, go on.
And so yes, he will be able to challenge Galactic Legends. We like the Galactic Legends. There's rock paper scissors amongst all of them.
Right.
So he will be better against some than others. He will be better on defense versus others, better on offense versus others. It's just kind of there's a bunch of Galactic Legends now, and you got to figure out which one's going to be the ones to deal with Starkiller.
So I'm kind of getting into some questions I had a little bit farther down my list, but because you mentioned offense and defense, it definitely looks, I mean, I'd be shocked if this kit, especially in Grand Arena, isn't capable of taking on GLs in Grand Arena from an offensive perspective, but you even mentioned defense. Are you anticipating this being a viable defensive play against Galactic Legends?
I think it really depends on what your opponent has and how you kind of set it up. We test for everything. We kind of try and make sure that he's going to be decent on defense and decent on offense, but always under your own fine control of exactly who to target and what abilities to use. You're always going to find better performance.
Yeah,
well, that's with everything.
Kind of like as a galactic schmegend is what some people have been calling
I will
right?
take that. Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Like it's kind of there.
Yeah, and so look, with his Omicron equipped, you put him in Grand Arena, you're gonna make some noise, and possibly counter some Galactic Legends. Probably not all of them, obviously, but yeah, you're gonna want him for GAC for sure.
So he'll get holds against GLs. Not every time, but holds will be possible against GLs.
I haven't played with him, so I don't know what he's doing on defense.
I don't know. GLs are very powerful on offense. So, a GL coming up against him are probably going to have an easier time than anything else coming up against him. But he can still drop a Star Destroyer on someone. So.
Now, I have not seen the animations yet as we're recording this. Is that going to be part of the animations?
Yeah. I mean,
it super is, man.
Yes! Let's go. Sorry, I'm ignoring you guys for a second. I want that so bad. I'm just okay. Yeah, they didn't let me see the actual animations yet before we recorded this video, guys, which I kind of resent. But hopefully I can edit them into this video so you guys by the time you guys are seeing this, you're in the future for me. You've probably already seen it. So that's dope. What's that going to look like? At least describe it to me. I need to know right now.
So it's funny because this was, probably one of the more difficult abilities to get into the kit.
Which ability is it?
It's the
granted.
The granted ability. Size means nothing.
Size means nothing. Okay.
Which is a direct quote from The Force Unleashed from Ron Kodo as he's pulling the Star Destroyer down.
I suspected, yes.
Yes. And it was like we didn't want to do it. It was going to be too expensive. It was going to be too complicated. I did a storyboard of what was in my head and how it was going to look.
Yeah.
So you press, you get the granted ability, you hit the button for the granted ability. He does, as he does in The Force Unleashed, he does the hands and he pulls, right?
Is it a cutscene?
And then we cut to the Star Destroyer in orbit and we watch it get yanked down. And then we cut back to the battlefield and you just see a big wall of fire and everything coming, just envelop the enemy team. And then it hollows out before it hits your team.
It's beautiful. I'm like Krennic sitting here watching you guys just going, oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that. So, okay, great. Now I'm totally sidetracked. I forgot what we were even talking about. Were you guys in the middle?
You were on the basic ability still, I think.
Oh,
I think so. We gotta skip ahead.
Oh man. Okay. So we'll talk more about that ability when we get there. And just saying so that's another chip in my hat that this is basically a Galactic Legend. He's also got a cutscene. So this could be the cheapest Galactic Legend ever.
It doesn't go to the dark world that Galactic Legends have for their ultimates.
The dark world.
That's kind of what we call it. It's definitely the Galactic Legend ultimates. We kind of take them out of the scene and put
right.
The Star Destroyer you cut to is definitely in the scene still. It's in a physical place.
I literally cannot wait to see this. Awesome. Okay, now his second unique ability is getting him off Gideon treatment. I'm really curious to get some more perspective on this. It's one Jedi, one Sith. one unaligned Force user that is Sith and one unaligned Force user that is Jedi, or that is light side. Sorry.
Like, yeah. So
And
basically,
the point is they're not Jedi Sith. It's light side, dark side, unaligned Force users.
Of the 4 different types of Force users we have in the game, you need one of each in addition to Starkiller.
Okay, so the way you phrased it right there maybe kind of alludes to the question I'm about to ask. But before I ask about team composition ideas, I'm just wondering, like, from a lore perspective, why do that? Like, what's the logic from a lore perspective on having that specific of a composition for him to function fully?
This was fun because you know, we kind of sat down and we were kind of going over, like, what does this guy's team look like, right? And you know, we weren't going to do you know, Proxy and Juno Eclipse and Rom Coda, like, that's outside of the time frame that we have to do everything. Make all these characters. So it was like, okay, he's not going to get his team. What team is he going to get? And we looked at, like, the Force Unleashed, right? And the Force Unleashed is a game about a guy who's raised in the dark side, right? Trained by Vader as a secret apprentice, and then throughout the game is kind of inversely tempted by the light, right? And so he's very conflicted through the game, and that's, you know, the name of the ability, the Unity 2, there's much conflict in you, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so that conflict was kind of like the genesis for the, you know, Moff Gideon treatment. What if his ideal team was a Jedi, a Sith, dark side unaligned Force user, or a light side unaligned Force user, right? And we do specific call outs to bonuses that you would get to each of those. And then we can use that to kind of raise up some characters who, you know, we don't have on the rework schedule, but, like, just being in his kit get elevated up to a new height.
Interesting. So, okay, so now so that's lore perspective. And I actually, you know what? I actually kind of buy that explanation for Starkiller. I didn't think about it as it's the 4 different types of Force users in the game. And Starkiller is known for just his incredible control over the Force from a very young age, being able to take a lightsaber from Darth Vader. You know, it's just, you know, obviously he was turning heads and was able to do incredible things with the Force, heretofore unknown by Force users. And so I actually buy that. From a game perspective, though, you're kind of alluding to maybe shoring up some other characters. Is part of that maybe, I want to talk about composition too, but is also part of that maybe a game balance thing? Like, you've obviously called out, basically you don't want him working with other GLs, or at least you're going to nerf him if he works with other GLs, which, because he basically is a GL, makes sense. But is there also a concern of him working with traditional powerhouse teams, like just slotting into a Darth Revan team or something like that?
That is something we definitely have looked at, right? We've made sure, you know, looking at him, his tags, his abilities, what does he bring to the table if you're going to turn off his unique 2, right? Obviously, it's not a leader ability. He is not a leader. You're going to have a different leader for this group, but his unique 2 is going to be there, and it's going to be, you know, kind of firing off, you know, while he's still on the battlefield. So your key to defeating Starkiller is to take out Starkiller if you can. So
if you can, good luck. So okay, cool. So do you have a specific team composition in mind for him? I mean, obviously the characters we're getting, which by now everyone knows, Mara Jade coming as well, Darth Talon, oh my gosh, and freaking Kyle Katarn. I don't know what the tags for those characters are, but are you anticipating some of those characters working up with Starkiller, or is it mostly just existing characters in the game and they're going to be in their own teams?
So Talon works okay. It's not really the Sith that we were looking for that group. The Sith that he was kind of really built around was Darth Vader. You know, it's the lore tie, you know, his apprentice. So we wanted to make sure that Darth Vader was in the team and could be used. We didn't want to do a specific call out. There were some versions that did have a specific call out to Darth Vader. But like Darth Vader's, he's an in-demand character. A lot of teams could really use him. So we wanted to make sure that you weren't leaving things on the table by not having him in the team. So if there is another Sith, you could use them instead if your Vader's elsewhere.
Okay.
There is a comp that we have played with. The designers call it the Star Jade comp, where Mara Jade is the dark side unaligned Force user under him, and it performs good. Other than that, if you have a Kylo Ren sitting around, we've tried with various different Kylo Rens in there as well.
So potentially you're able to use Mara Jade in the composition. It sounds like Darth Vader is probably going to be the Sith you want to use. Let's see. I don't know. Kyle Katarn, is he getting a Jedi tag? I don't know yet.
Yeah, Rebel Fighter Jedi. So
sweet. Is he working in that composition at all? Oh, Rebel Fighter for Kyle Katarn. Ooh, I want to talk about that. This is not about Kyle Katarn, but that makes me excited.
I mean, this is future Cubs anyway, I don't
know as much as you guys know out there in the chat. You guys already know all of the kits and everything, and I'm just sitting here in the dark.
Kyle's for Mon Mothma and ponying territory battles. The Jedi, we've tried a couple different Jedi tanks are really what you want here because they're going to gain taunt.
Mace?
Yeah, Mace Windu.
Mace
was like the first guy that we started trying with this. There's one other Jedi tank when I'm blanking on right now that also works
Kit Fisto
instead of Mace. I don't think it's Kit Fisto.
Another Jedi tank.
Yeah. Oh man. I'm going to get slaughtered for remembering the name of the punishing one and not remembering the name of the tank, the other Jedi tank.
You even Star Wars. I'm pulling up all the Jedi so I can look for him too, because I'm drawing a blank now.
But your light side unaligned Force user healer, that one should be pretty obvious.
Dark side unaligned or light side unaligned Force user healer, maybe Visas?
Yep.
Okay, I'm interested in that. Yep. That's definitely a character that I feel like out of all the characters in the game, one of those characters that just never really went anywhere.
Yeah.
So other Jedi, maybe Juhani?
I believe that might
be. Or Kanan.
It.
Kanan is another one.
It's not Kanan.
Let's see here.
I think any Jedi tanks.
Okay, cool.
Because basically, as long as they can survive hits, right? Because whenever Starkiller uses a special ability, right, they're going to taunt and get damage immunity for one turn, right? Yeah. And Starkiller should be using special abilities as much as he possibly can. They have cooldowns, and so you're not going to be able to continuously spam specials. But
his basic helps with that.
Yes. But also the light side unaligned Force using healers, you get your cooldowns reduced by 4. So basically Visas is healing every time her turn comes up.
Cool. So you would expect maybe Visas Mar to be viable, not just usable in this comp, but viable.
She was one of the main characters we tested with, yes.
Now, another question specific to this unique ability with, and we're going to go through all the abilities one by one, but I'm just kind of bouncing around here to start with. But 3v3 Grand Arena for this. Is this unique ability just not possible in 3v3? Is there any workaround for that? It seems like a little bit like, kind of as a fan, maybe a bit of a design flaw to have a character that's clearly geared for Grand Arena only fully function in half of the Grand Arenas we have.
You are right. It is kind of a design flaw in that area. Initially, it's not going to be in the kit, but it is planned for a future update for both him and Moff Gideon to be able to look for a subset in 3v3. Right?
Okay.
As long as you still didn't break the rules by having multiples of someone, you can turn on the abilities.
Interesting. Okay, so that's great to hear. So that's coming soon, TM.
Yeah, soon TM.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's always something with Moff Gideon. It didn't sit great with me because I'm like, I can't use this guy's leader ability at all in Grand Arena. But with Starkiller, it's like, ooh, that's a pretty big deal for half of those Grand Arenas. And clearly, you guys want him working well in Grand Arena.
Yeah, and like the idea is, if we're gonna make him work in Grand Arena, we might as well get Moff Gideon at the same time. So
good. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Actually, all of the normal questions I had written down, we got to. So let's start going through the kit. Then I'm going to start with his basic, and hopefully I can show the basic on screen right now as we are recording this. I just wish I could see that right now, gentlemen. But I gotta ask, the ability is Imbued Lightsaber Strike. Am I saying that right? Cool. Does this have, and this is a Zeta, does this have lightsaber infused lightning?
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah, for sure. It's awesome.
Those are the two things I wanted. Lightsaber infused lightning and Star Destroyer on everybody.
We watch your shows, and when we hear you say you want this, that, or the other thing, and we know it's in the kit, we just smile to our face.
No. You said that wrong. Everyone, just so you know, they were watching my videos, they heard my request, and they did it just because of me. So you can thank me. All right, let's read the the ability. Basic Imbued Lightsaber Strike is Zeta, which also another nod to him being Galactic Legend-like. I don't think anyone else has a basic on their Zeta other than Galactic Legends. Deal physical damage to target enemy twice. So that's not 2 attacks, it's just 2 sets of damage on 1 attack, right? If it's Starkiller's turn, inflict shock for 1 turn, and deal physical damage to all enemies which can't be countered. And then when unleashes up, you reduce special ability cooldowns by 1. So any comments on that ability? It sounds pretty cool. I like the use of shock. I like the double damage, and I like that it can't be countered.
Yeah, I mean, this this kind of explores kind of a new design space we're going with. Basics are used to assist with as well. Right. So we can't go crazy, go nuts with a basic attack unless we restrict the go nuts to his turn only. Right. So that's where he gets the extra damage, the hitting everyone with that. So we're super happy with this and how it turned out.
But he will still deal damage to, I forgot one piece of it that was interesting. I think this is the first basic AoE. Does anyone in the game have a basic that deals AoE damage on his turn only?
It might be one of the characters that you haven't seen their kits yet for.
Oh.
I am not 100% sure, though.
I don't know anything! Gosh dang it. Okay, well, as of right now, for everything that I've seen in, in the past, there isn't anyone. So, okay, let's move on to special number 1, Boundless Force Throw. Can you guys describe this animation to me?
And
why you did it like that?
If you've played Force Unleashed, you know that one of the main abilities he has is picking something up, throwing it at the enemy, whether it's a barrel or a log or a TIE fighter,
a porg.
He's chucking stuff at people all the time.
Like Carbanti.
And so this is kind of, this is that ability only in Galaxy Heroes. He's gonna pull a barrel from off screen and chuck it at the enemy.
It's not. For the record, I did want to call this ability just yeet and leave it at that, but they did not let me.
Come on, CG. Let him call it yeet.
Called Force Yeet for a very long time.
So it was yeet in testing for a bit.
It was Force Yeet because we'd used Force Throw before on another character, and we just wanted we couldn't call it the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Force Yeet was just sitting there unused.
Force Yeet. Yeah. I will be very happy if that ability name
definitely changed it before we submitted all the names to Lucas. So.
Oh well. Okay, let's read the ability. Deal physical damage to target enemy, inflict daze and vulnerable for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. And you get 25 stacks of force energy. And of course, that's like your ultimate charge, right? This ability can't be evaded. And then when you've got Unleashed, you also inflict buff immunity and healing immunity for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. And then when we're in Grand Arena with our, and this is the Omicron, that's going to be Mass Dispel, and that buff and healing immunity become locked debuffs at that point. So I can actually see what you're going for from a lore perspective here, but I'll let you kind of describe the kit text a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what you're thinking, right? You play Force Unleashed. The more abilities you use, the higher your force meter gets, and the bigger your force meter gets, which will let you do more and more powerful abilities.
Yeah.
And that is very much something we are trying to pay homage to, not emulate directly, but like, give a sly wink to, yes, this is that mechanic from the game that you all played.
Right. Yeah. And that's I love seeing those little ways to pay homage to old games and old stories and everything, but with a Galaxy of Heroes flavor, right? And so that's kind of a fun way to see that conversion. All right, we got Force Repulse, and I know people are going to love this. This is obviously one of those abilities that everyone wants to see. We got a cooldown of 4. This is an Omicron as well. Dispel all buffs on target enemy and deal physical damage to all enemies, which can't be evaded. And then we got 5% more damage for every buff you dispel, but when you're unleashed, it's actually be 25% more damage for each buff dispelled. So that sounds like it could be just insane. And then the Omicron for Grand Arena adds dispel all buffs on all enemies.
Yeah, this is the classic move where he goes up, he does the arms, the big force bubble comes around him and just kind of explodes, and
that's what he does in the game, I'm guessing.
In the game, that knocks everyone back. In our game, it knocks all their buffs off. So, yeah.
Can't we actually physically knock them back? Like have all the characters fall down? When are we going to have stuff like that where characters, instead of like just standing there and just going, they actually like...
We put Dash Radar's train in there. We got the Death Star blowing stuff up. We got him pulling down a Star Destroyer. Give us time.
Doja, do I look like the kind of guy that's satisfied with that?
Yeah, do I have to answer that question?
I was pretty satisfied with those things.
Thank you.
The Death Star was pretty dope. Okay, that made me think. I've got a question.
Yeah.
Death Star animation or the size means nothing animation? What's better?
So this is you had future Cubs looking on the back, and everything he's seen in the past, but he doesn't know about right now.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the actual final version of size means.
Wow.
So
have you, Doja?
What I have seen is it gave me goosebumps. So
yeah, I don't think I saw the one that was final either, but what I did see, I was like, oh, it's looking good. It's looking good for sure.
Okay, cool. I'm excited. So speaking of, we're on the granted ability now, size mean nothing. I can't get over how this is disgusting. You deal 80% of Starkiller's max health damage AoE. And you're going to stun them if that wasn't enough for 1 turn. Can't be resisted. Allies are going to recover 100% health and 100% protection. That's just dirty. If the attack defeats an enemy, we're also going to give Starkiller a bonus turn. And you obviously can't be evaded. Now, this is disgustingly OP. So a question I have, I don't know if you guys can answer this, but I'd really like to know, is Starkiller going to be a tanky character, health-wise? Or is it going to be like where is he? Is he going to be one of those characters that just has an insane amount of max health, akin to a Galactic Legend, or is it going to be toned down?
It's very much toned down. He is not insurmountable. He's going to drop a Star Destroyer on you if you let him get there. So try not to let him get there.
Okay, so the idea is he's a ticking time bomb kind of thing. If you let him bake too long, you're dead. But it's possible the kind of the counter, I guess, weakness. You get maybe like a bit of a glass cannon.
Yeah, very, very apt description. Yeah.
Okay. So a bit of a glass cannon. But you know we're all gonna slap our 16% health mods on him as much as we can.
I know, and there are going to be people out there who are disappointed that he's a glass cannon. They would rather he be Durasteel cannon instead. But we are still making game. There's still some semblance of balance that we try and throw in there.
And I also think it's worth caveating, just in case this video does come out before the actual kit release, that this is the size means nothing. The granted ability is limited to 1 use per battle.
1 use per battle. And I did not see that caveat in the kit text that you sent me, Doja. So that's good to know.
It might have been updated today.
Yeah, it's once per battle. There's only one Star Destroyer in orbit at any given time. So you can only pull down so many.
Have you been to Exegol?
We don't have an Exegol map.
Okay, fine.
Well, we do, but it's inside.
Okay, let's get into his unique abilities. There's 2 of them, and notably no leader ability, which we already kind of talked about a little bit. So unique number 1, Force Energy. This is a Zeta. And so let me, do I have my glasses so I can get out my Swugga University understanding here? Here we go. Starkiller has plus 30% counter chance, critical chance, defense penetration, and offense. Notably, no health increase there. Starkiller is immune to fear. Starkiller gains 4 stacks of force energy, max 100 every time he deals deals damage to an enemy. And so I think that makes his basic ability really relevant, especially on his turn, because it's going to be AoE. That's 10 stacks of damage right there. And if that's a crit, it's actually going to go up to 5 stacks of force energy. So on his basic ability, if he were to crit on all of those stacks of damage, in theory, how much force energy
25.
can you can do a max of 25 on his basic?
If you get a crit on everyone, yeah.
If you get a crit on everyone. So you're going to pretty soon, I mean, you're going to be able to get your granted ability up there. I mean, within how many turns have you guys seen in testing?
It's fairly quick.
Yeah.
It's not a, I'm waiting forever to get this. But like you said, glass cannon, maybe you won't get there. We want to make sure that, you're going to be able to use it when you get there. So.
And that's why that Jedi tank is going to be important, which I think is covered in unique number 2.
Yes.
Because it's going to be taunting and damage immunity. But let's stay on track here. We're talking about unique number 1. Okay. Thanks for the explanation. So if this attack is a critical hit, gain 5 stacks of force energy instead. And then at 100 stacks, he loses all stacks of force energy and gains unleashed until the end of the battle, which can't be copied, dispelled, prevented. And this is an interesting part. That counter chance, critical chance, defense penetration, and offense goes up to 100%. He gets a full cooldown reset, takes a bonus turn, and so right when that happens, boom, here comes the granted ability. Dispels all debuffs of himself, and if there are no Galactic Legend allies, gains the special ability size means nothing. So are you guys seeing in testing? Here's my question with all of this considered. If these conditions are met and we get to that granted ability and it gets used, is it really even possible to win at that point?
It's not 100% guarantee. Like if you were in a bad spot to begin with, then this might not be enough to save you. Like if it was just down to Starkiller on your side and he damaged a bunch and stunned him, but like he got 1 extra turn out of it. And so, now he's just got to eat the rest of the attacks. So it's, as with everything, we don't make anything that is unbeatable.
All right. So, and then for unleashed abilities gain. Oh yeah, that's just explaining abilities gain additional effects. And note, this is where the caveat is actually kind of hidden in there. It says you can't gain force energy when unleashed is there, and unleashed stays there for the end of the battle, right?
Yeah, you're done getting force energy at that.
And so that kind of subtly confirms. I didn't think about it when I first read through the kit, but that you can only use that once.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else you want to say about that unique?
No, I mean, basically, where does that come from in the game? In addition, you're always doing that collecting the force. We wanted to put that in there. We wanted to tie in Unleashed as a state for him that he can move into because, he is the Force Unleashed. And, I
was wondering where you got that title.
Yeah. I do want to point out, if you haven't figured it out from reading the kit, this is Starkiller from the first game, right? This is not we're not trying to do a combination of Starkiller and the clone Galen Merrick. This is just Starkiller kind of, looking at the first game as a whole and kind of cherry picking the best moments out of that.
It did feel that way based on all the homages you've paid here. But I will say this, it's clearly a confirmation that we're going to get a Starkiller clone in the next update.
I have no idea where that would come from.
I can dream. I'll take what I can get. I honestly never thought you guys would do Starkiller. I was shocked when I saw that's what you were doing. So, all right, let's talk unique number 2. There is much conflict in you, and this has an Omicron as well. At the start of the battle, if there are no Galactic Legend allies, and so we got two nerfs to Starkiller if you use him with a Galactic Legend. And that is that this unique is dead, and you don't get that granted ability. And so that's a pretty sizable nerf to Starkiller's kit to bring him down to Earth if a Galactic Legend is there. So if no GL allies and Starkiller has exactly 1 Jedi, 1 Sith, 1 light side Force user, and 1 dark side Force unaligned user, all allies gain 100% critical damage and max health. Oh yeah, my question is, this says all allies. Does that 100% max health not include Starkiller?
If it says all allies, then it includes Starkiller, but I am not sure this has had a final copy check. So I can either confirm nor deny whether it includes Starkiller or not.
Okay. So, yeah, because that was when I was reading through the kit for the first time, I was like, does that include Starkiller or not? Because that's really relevant to that granted ability.
If you look at our kits, we're very careful about wording all other allies if it's not going to include you. And if it just says all allies, it should include you.
I've never thought about that until it was very relevant in this case. Okay, so all allies gain 100% critical damage, 100% max health, and 35 speed. They also gain 100% max protection until the first time Starkiller is defeated, and all allies are immune to daze and stun. And then the Grand Arena Omicron is fantastic, and I do have a question on this one as well. If the condition for this ability were met at the start of the battle, all of this ability's mode-specific benefits are also activated. So does this mean that in Grand Arena, in theory, you just need to equip 1 Omicron and you get all of them for Grand Arena only?
All of this abilities, mode-specific stuff. Basically, it's everything that's going to be listed after that sentence.
Okay, so you still need all the Omicrons?
Yes.
Okay. Where am I? All mode-specific benefits are also activated for this ability. Okay, and then so all allies gain 35 speed. Debuffed enemies deal 50% less damage. Jedi tanks taunt for 1 turn. That's very relevant. Starkiller assists when a Jedi uses a basic ability with 20% less damage. Sith ally, sorry. Whenever another dark side unaligned Force user uses a special ability, allies gain crit hit immunity for 1 turn. And whenever Starkiller uses a special ability, light side healer allies have their cooldowns reduced by 4. And Jedi tank allies gain damage immunity and taunt for 1 turn. And so that right there is that's probably the most powerful Omicron we've seen yet.
It's up there. A lot of people were like, want Omicron materials really badly, and it's a very controlled drop rate as
substance.
Everyone is very much aware of how fast they're getting their Omicron materials, right? And so it's no accident that he has 3 Omicrons. So in order to become, the Starkiller, you really have to kind of commit and invest for him.
Sounds good. I really like this kit. I'm really excited to see it in action. I'm curious, before I ask a few closing questions here before we wrap up, was there anything else either of you were dying to say about Starkiller that you wanted to talk about?
I am so excited to bring him to Galaxy of Heroes. It is, when I started 3 years ago, there was a list of characters and units and things I wanted to get into the game, some of which were so astronomical, there was just no chance. And Starkiller, as a matter of fact, all 5 of the 50th anniversary characters checked boxes for me. So
Sick.
I'm very happy to bring the players, especially our older players, the nostalgia trip of revisiting these characters they never thought they'd see in a Star Wars game again.
True.
And then for all the newer players who out there who have no idea who these characters are, I hope we've enlightened you. I hope we opened up some new avenues of media that you can check out and see what what Star Wars was like over the 50 years that Lucasfilm's been around.
That's beautiful, first of all, but also the other thing that was beautiful is Miller's right. He had a list of characters that we never thought would make it in game, and he just set about bing, 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 going down the line like so meticulously. It's very impressive. And then my other thing is it's kind of like, where do we go from here, right? Because with the animation of using the Death Star to blow up a ship, and now with this one, like pulling the Star Destroyer down, is so amazing. So yeah, I'm just excited to see where things go from here. But yeah, for now, having Starkiller in the game, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I really hope that people enjoy it.
You're excited to see where things go from here, or you're excited for us to see what you've seen is coming next?
All that stuff, man. I mean, look, I play the game too. I get a kick out of this stuff just as much as y'all do. So I'm definitely excited for what we're doing here, because it was kind of like what I mean, Miller, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this is what we kind of wanted to do as a studio when we had a kind of an open book, if you will, for doing the 50th anniversary stuff. It was just, this is what we want to do, and we're excited about it. So obviously we hope that you guys are too.
The list of characters we went through to pare down to just these 5, like I think all the guesses that players have made have been were on that list. Except for one character was on that list that someone only guessed just the other day, which I thought was amazing. So
who's that?
Jackson the Rabbit.
Awesome.
I mean, there was nothing that was off limits. We considered everything. So.
Yeah. Is it difficult? I'm a little bit curious with a character like Starkiller. Is it difficult when working with your partners at Lucasfilm and kind of getting them to sign off on these things that aren't necessarily part of their main focus for storytelling right now?
They are incredibly helpful with us. They have suggested characters for us to use in this regard. Stuff that we hadn't really considered, and which is great, right? And they're all nostalgic Star Wars fans as well. They were all, yes, let him bring down a Star Destroyer.
Yes, good peasant.
Yeah. They got super excited when they saw Dash Rendar's chain level for the first time. They're fans of the game, they're fans of Star Wars, they're fans of like the media and everything. So they were incredibly helpful. And I've mentioned this before, I'm very thankful for all the help they put in and working with us to make this happen.
So door is not shut on more Legends characters after these 5?
Well, I mean, we're no longer in the 50th anniversary year of Lucas.
So that's it for now.
So we'll have to
find
find some other way to kind of wrap around this sort of thing.
Yeah, we'll see you for the 75th anniversary. See what we can do.
Okay. Yeah, we'll all be grandpas by then, right?
I'll be dead.
You're not gonna be dead by then. Come on now. This guy. All right. Well, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me. Again, I want to ask as many questions as I can. But anyway, so if there's a question you were dying to ask, put it in the comments and we'll see if we can't get a dev to address it at some point. But these were just the questions that I had for today's interview. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to the kit. And hopefully I can have Starkiller in my roster before next year because
it's going to be a long
can't afford
time,
him.
even for me. That is the one disappointment as I look and see how far away I am from Starkiller. I'll get there at some point.
Are you going to free to play grind him?
I
Mostly
don't
free to play.
think I've already invested in some of the 50th anniversary characters, so I've already blown the free to play part. So,
Okay. Cool. Well, I got the $20 pack for Dash, and I think that's about as much as I can handle for now. So, anyway, well, we're really looking forward to it. Thanks for joining me, guys. Can everyone just say Han shot first to end the video?
Han shot first.
Han shot first.
Obvious.
And only, right?
He's the only one who shot.
Only.
Yeah, I wasn't there.